Uh, I like the Australian dollar. Yeah, this one looks pretty good. Have this order block here. There's order block. Alright, the stream should be fine now. I'm just looking at the Australian dollar because it does look pretty good. I'm not gonna obviously try and trade it, but it's not a bad chart. Nice short there. Not volume balance. I don't know if it's gonna come all the way down there, but hmm. These pairs are not looking too bad for shorts. I mean, I don't know. I'm not trading them, but mm, I don't know. Shorts look interesting. Best Canadian internet? No, it's not. It's 'cause we're using Starlink in the middle of nowhere. Someone probably ran into the satellite or something. This does not look pretty here. I definitely expect that sell side liquidity to be taken, probably reversal or something. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it gets taken. But I don't know. I think it is always possible it does not get taken. I'm waiting to see a manipulation, but if we come just shy of it, because you gotta remember that support and resistance still need to work sometimes for people to believe them and to start trading it. So it's just like if I feel like if it wanted to run the sell side liquidity, it would have done it at 947. it might still do it now. It's just that it's consolidating and possible that it ends up not doing it until way later, maybe even tomorrow. I'm not saying that, but it's always I've seen it happen before. That's why I'm not trying to go long just yet because that sell side. Until I'm more confident. Yeah. C is really ugly price action. The question is like when you see something like this, like do you just close the charts or maybe it's gonna get better? You know, I don't know. I guess we had something like this yesterday where price just got really ugly for a little bit after the initial opening move down. Actually, recently the only really good moves I found were like between 9:30 and 10. And then when 10 o'clock comes around, it's something like this. See, like back here, it's resembling a lot like it did back here right now, at least. You see that price action here in the 5-minute chart, and you compare it to this one. Like it resembles a lot like it did here. So I'm not saying this is what's going to happen. It's not going to go down to these relative equal lows, but I mean, it's possible, right? This is what I'm saying. That it doesn't go down to the relative equal lows. Um, but yeah. Also, do you know when Donald Trump gets sworn into office? On January 20th? Okay. January 20th. That's when it's the 20th, I think. That's when, all of our freedom goes and okay. Cut your hair and wait, what? Some people are doing that? That's crazy. But actually a thing. Bro, why are they shaving their head? They apparently are stating that they bald because my body hates me, not because I hate men. No, it's not by choice, apparently. It's not because they hate men, it's because. What the heck? What are they talking about? That doesn't make any sense. Um, 4B movement, lol, brainwash. They literally think Donald is the next Hitler. It's absolutely insane. The funniest thing I've ever seen Donald Trump say is a clip of him talking about he sent a picture to Abdul, called him Abdul's house. He sent a picture of some other president's house to him when they were disagreeing on something. That's hilarious. Yeah, the Dow is just insanely ugly. Jesus. Oh, also, what was CPI and PPI? I did not look at that. Oh, wow. It went up. Uh, let's say the same. What's core inflation? 2.6. Okay. CPI is going up. Um, I remember he was a terrorist, to be fair, if I remember. Did you see Joe Biden shake hands with Donald? Yeah, I did. It was like Trump was saying it's gonna be a smooth transition. It's good. I don't know. Maybe they're best friends, behind the scenes. And they're just scripted. I think it's scripted, the politics. It has to be. He was so happy he probably voted for him. No, Kamala was just. I want to see what Kamala said. Did she like thank Donald Trump? I haven't heard anything of her. What? She's still asking for campaign donations. While urging supporters, Harris says nation must accept election results while urging supporters to keep fighting. Fighting who? Hmm, I think it's stupid. I think it's stupid. Yeah, Neko, I'm not gonna lie. This is one of those mornings where you just close charts and you play a game or go outside, go for a walk. Because this is fucked. I'm probably going to. I just want to see if that sell side is gonna get ran, but I'm probably going to leave soon and go play basketball in like 15 minutes. There's also some forex pairs. I mean, the forex pairs are not that bad this morning. Like I was talking about shorts on JPY and Australian dollar in my journal. Like this would be the short that I would take. So, like this. There you go. And then Australian dollar. See how that's working out. Yeah. Full port shorts. Oh, the bond yields. I haven't looked at that in a while. Because the thing about the bond yields is, um, so the Federal Reserve, where's the balance sheet? No, no. What the sakes? What is this? Uh, okay, maybe I actually don't have it. Oh, fuck's sakes. Hold on. Okay. Mm. Total assets. Wednesday level. What? Oh my god. I don't know what Wednesday level is, but this should be it. Okay, so this is like the balance sheet of the Federal Reserve, right? Okay, yeah, this is it. This is it. So, you know, the problem is that like in 2008, they had no balance sheet, and then the crisis happened, and they increased their balance sheet, right? Basically printing a lot of money or selling bonds. Other countries came in buying their bonds, and it increased their balance sheet, right? So they increased it some more in COVID, like a lot more, because in COVID, when everyone was worried about COVID, and they didn't have anywhere else to put their money, right? Because it was risky. The safest place they could put their money is in gold. There's not enough gold to put it all in gold or US dollar bonds. So everyone went into US dollar bonds, and it created the and there was a lot of stimulus too, and given to businesses and people. So it created a large spike in money supply, and the Federal Reserve increased their balance sheet by selling a lot of bonds. This is what you're seeing here, the bonds that are increasing. It's not necessarily the money supply, the money in the economy, it's just that the bonds that the Federal Reserve bought into and the corporate debt they bought into increased. So since then, they have been selling these things. Like, they've been devaluing their balance sheet, reducing their position, and because of this, this might be why you're seeing the yields invert. It doesn't mean there's a crisis, because I know traditionally. Let me also add this to WALCL. Okay, because if you go over here, you were, yeah, 10-year 3 month. Okay, so yeah, like it's true that this is about to invert, and this usually is going to cause a crisis. But one thing that's overlooked by a lot of people is the situation the Federal Reserve is in right now, which is a lot different than we've never really been in the past, which is that the balance sheet um, is being like sold, and because of COVID, it gave the opportunity for people to buy into cheap corporate debt. You see, like there was a lot of I guess bailing out that was done without really understanding that you bailed out people. So corporations were bailed out, and we basically avoided a recession through the sale of cheap debt, which is why, like you see, the Federal Reserve's balance sheet increased so much. But now, instead of crashing and everything, going to a crisis, we're having a recessionless recession right now. We've been having one where the Federal Reserve are reducing their balance sheet, and there's corporations that are going out of business and firing people. But these people still have jobs because those jobs were created pointlessly in the first place. Because when you had COVID and everyone bought cheap corporate debt, corporates were loaded up on cash and they had nothing to do with the cash, so they hired a bunch of useless people. They laid them off within the next couple of years up until now, and then people had, there was a recession, there was less employment, but they had other jobs to go to, like in the service industry. And what you see is people have like two, three jobs in the service industry, which are hiring, but the old jobs, which shouldn't have existed in the first place, laid people off, giving the impression, well, not the impression of a recession, but there is actually a recession. So this inverted yield curve could just be the fact that the corporations that have jobs that shouldn't have had them in the first place, and corporations that shouldn't have been as big as they are now due to COVID and their cheap debt, the amount of liquidity they had access to, um, and the unwinding of the Federal Reserve's balance sheet with their bonds that they have could be contributing to an inverted yield curve where yield curve is now uninverting without really nothing to worry about. There is a recession playing out, right? But it's not anything notable, like noticeable. You don't really feel it, I suppose. So I don't know. I could be wrong, but that could always be the scenario. Is what I heard somebody argue, which was a really good point. And yeah, but it'll be interesting. I'm not saying it's not going to be a crisis, but that's something to keep in mind if you are watching the bond yields, because the stock market certainly isn't reflecting that we're having a crisis. At least not yet. Also, we yeah, that was nice. You had a that TP. I hope you took partials. If you didn't, good job, because I don't know if I would have been able to hold that whole trade. You probably shorted from around 9:45 or like 9:40, I assume. But do you think Trump's win increased future confidence and therefore long-term bonds became more safe? Um, yeah, for sure, because Trump is going to be aggressive with U.S. dollar and with tariffs, and so people are going to want more U.S. dollars. They're going to want to be invested more into the United States. So I think it was more bullish for stocks, if anything, and high risk assets, because I think corporations are now going to want to move into the United States more and less from outside the world. So I don't know if that affects bonds too much. I think it more affects the dollar, because if I'm a corporation, I want to get, you know, I think bond prices are probably going to keep falling and yields are going to go up. I don't really see bond prices go higher. It's mainly the domestic economy in the United States, which would make bonds still attractive, but um, I don't know. Like right now, I look at the monthly chart and I just see bonds look like they're going to go down. They failed to displace above this short-term high on the monthly chart and closed aggressively lower, which is sort of signaling a market shift. That doesn't really mean too much though for the state of the United States economy, but that means yields go up. I think there's just more risk, higher prices, and high inflation, which is why the bonds are going down, and people are getting more into stocks and whatnot. It's also like I believe why the Dow is so. You look at the daily chart, the Nasdaq, and you compare it to the Dow. The Dow is looking a lot. Yeah, here you go. It's looking a lot better. Like if in terms of daily chart, the last couple of days, I would have rather to trade the Dow. Probably not. If you go down to the lower time frame, you can see how. Actually, I don't know, but my point is that there's a lot more assets being bought and sold on the safer side of things, like in the Dow, which has the corporations that already like have business, and they're like service and product type companies versus like tech companies that have a lot of speculation. They're not really moving right now because there's a lot of uncertainty. But I think tech is going to contribute a lot from Trump, and we're going to see large moves next year. So what was your trade, Neko? You can post like a trading view link in the chat if it's easier to show. 950 you shorted. Oh, okay. Hmm. That's pretty good actually. Not fair value gap. That's not bad. Good job holding to that. I want to see if that gap's gonna get inversed though. I probably won't do anything else, so even if it gets inversed, I'm done. Done for the day. Actually, I don't know. Powell speaking. Where is he speaking? Oh, F3. Hmm. Did not know that. Let me see what kind of speech she's doing because it might be important. It's not really telling me what it's about. Not telling me what it's about. Okay, found it. Oh, he's talking about economic outlook. That's a big speech. Okay, looks like we're gonna reverse this gap. A little too late for me to go long. I mean, I want to maybe get in on the inverse, but I don't know if that's gonna be enough room. Yeah, yeah. Powell this afternoon. It's gonna be interesting. Yeah, it's not looking good. Mm. Well, not yet. It hasn't worked yet. I don't know. We'll see. Pretty messed up to break even because it made a new high, displaced above it. If it comes back, I'd rather just be out. That's simple. I don't like how this looks. It's just not, I don't know. That should be like an order block up here that I would want to hold price. Waited for Q4 cycle and took profit. I'm not really looking at the quarters. Um, it just helps me visualize price. I mean, on like the session, I don't really look at the 1 minute stuff. Like I glance at it, but it's mainly for when I'm looking at the sessions like Asia, London, New York. But yeah, I mean, it is, I guess, moving quite nicely. You have consolidation, manipulation. This should be distribution in these quarters. If we get back above this high, I'm gonna move my stop up to about 80 ticks. Just because I want to leave soon, so I want to like start to, I don't know, trim the trade. If I could take partials right now, I would, so I could leave and then have something off and then get going. But I don't need to get going. I just would like to get going soon. I shall leave it at like 60 ticks. And hopefully, be nice and easy from here. Yeah, I just want to hit my take profit. There you go. Okay, I cut the trade. I wanted to hit up here. Yeah, it would have hit if I just but whatever. Yeah, I was trying to get it to come up to this high there at 33, and then instead I cut it at 30 points. Just above this high at 30 points. And I was afraid it would go down and but whatever. It's okay. So I'm in profit for the week, which is good. Anyways, I have to get going, so I will be seeing you guys, or mainly Neko. By the way, you were very responsible today, Neko. One reason I didn't want to show my trades is because I don't want other people to take them too. But you held that trade through all that consolidation, and then because you already had a win, you didn't take this one. It's nice. I'll see you next time, Neko.